Hello, 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 good people, and welcome to Happy, Healthy, Whole with Sharea. It has been a whole lot of minutes. I have, I guess, been off in a sense, getting ready for the new year of just getting things started for the business and moving into a new location. If you're in the Jersey area, come on in and stop by. We are usually open Monday through Friday, Saturdays as well. We are adding some new services. Anyway, I am back. I wanted to say hello first, and now I want to go right into what we are here for, which is you're not broken, you're burned out. And really, what we're going to talk about is this new thing I'm working on around being rooted in wellness and very specifically understanding the importance of resetting our nervous system, building up our strengths and our boundaries and our ability to take care of ourselves and incorporate rest and relaxation in all that we do. The world is difficult right now. The world is doing what it does. And the truth is that it requires us to activate and be dealing with justice and injustices that we need to fight and actually be present for. But part of it is, how do we start? So let's start here. If you're tired all the time, if your body feels heavy, if it feels uncomfortable instead of kind of a relieving feeling when someone asks you to pause or take a break, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. In the world that we are in right now, you are most likely burnt out. And burnt out being to the point where it makes sense for most of us. As Black women or women of color, many of us were conditioned to survive, not rest, which means that we're going to keep pushing. We're going to do all the things to make sure that we are healthy while being sometimes very unhealthy with our bodies in practice. So rest is something that we just didn't do all the time. And then we don't always do well because we have a million different things we want to get done, have to get done. And everything has this level of priority in our minds that means that we sometimes never feel like we're ever done. Um, the truth is that in this space, I want us to do something different. I want us to learn something different. I want us to be able to regulate our nervous system before we try to fix everything else. That doesn't mean that it's going to erase all the struggles and all the things that we're dealing with in this all ultra bigoted, bias, and hateful world at times. Your nervous system, however, has to be one of the priorities and one of the things you do to keep yourself alive. But think about it this way: when it's exposed to chronic stress, racialized stress or racial trauma, um, emotional labor, and constant responsibility for all of the woes of the world that may not even be at a fault of you, but a system that you have to operate in and be a part of, even sometimes when we don't like it, and most of it doesn't turn off. So we have social media, we have the media, we have our families, our friends, we have everyone talking and dealing with the multitudes of chronic stress that's going on. And so really, when we hear things like boundaries, we think that means all or nothing. And so before we talk about like healing, boundaries, joy, or any other growth, I just want to start with safety. And that's a word that can trigger a lot of things for us as women of color and Black women specifically. Um, but I want us to think about that. Where do we start? We start with safety. We start with understanding that we need to pause. And in this moment, I'm actually going to ask you, if you like, you can pause with me and we just take a moment to put our hand over our chest, one on our belly, and just take a slow breath in and a longer breath out. So, for example, we're going to go inhaling and we're going to exhale. Now, you see how that longer breath out is intentional. It's for us to be able to get our nervous system to come to a still point for just a moment to see what's going on and also to reset. That pause, that permission to pause, that need to pause is real. And really, what I'm asking you to do is to understand that although there's chaos, chronic stress, racial trauma, just a whole lot of chaos in the world that we're living in. For our bodies to even be able to manage fighting injustice, we have to be able to get to a place where we can regulate, stop sometimes, slow down our systems, and just breathe. So let's do that one more time. Let's take in a deep breath slowly. And then we're going to take a longer breath out. You don't need to feel calm. You don't need to pretend as if everything is renewed or brand new. What you're doing is you are simply bringing yourself to the present. You just need to be able to feel that presence, right? And so if you need to do it another time, if you need to do it 5 times, 10 times, do what you needed. When we think about this is part of that rooted in wellness that I talk about, and really understanding that our joy and our healing and joy requires us to get rooted in something that starts with our safety and our nervous system. It is not that difficult to know that things are going to continue to be stressful. Learning how to recognize or to hear your body's signals that you're overwhelmed is going to be a helpful tool. And even if you can't fix it all, sometimes you still just need to pause. Because honestly, healing doesn't start with insight. It just starts with listening, listening to yourself, listening to what your heart is saying, what your body is saying, what your mind is saying. This week and in the moment, I want you only to notice that deep breath in and that exhale out. Not fixing, not pushing, just notice. That alone can be your radical beginning. All right, y'all, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to our channel. I will be trying to make sure I'm doing at least a weekly series again on some way that we can be rooted in our wellness as we heal and joy. If you haven't already, check out our app, Healing and Joy, where I actually demonstrate some movement activities, keeping your body involved and coming a part of the community. We will also now be adding some additional check-ins where I'll do either lives directly in the group and or create a meetup where we can actually sit down and chat as a group so that we can heal and joy together while we are rooted in our wellness. All right, you take care of yourselves, and I will see you again next week. Making no promises, but my goal is at least once a week. Y'all be well.